Uh-oh, I'm losing my sign.
Goodness. Okay, wait.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on.
We're on. Look at me. Hello, everybody. I'm having a breakdown.
You too.
Welcome, welcome to OSA, Operation Save Abortion. Post-election, as much as we know up. Instead of a wrap-up, it's a as much as we know up. I'm Liz Winstead. I am joined by my colleagues, Marie Kahn, Moji Alo Odell, and I'm just having some wine and clutching Ruth Bader Ginsburg like a crazy person. Are you guys drinking?
I'm drinking. I'm having vodka and ginger beer, and it feels like a wise choice.
Marie, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
I got a
Wow,
Bloody Mary.
Marie, holy shit.
Yeah, pushing Wisconsin.
Huh?
Wisconsin. This is a great brewery in Milwaukee. Come on, Wisconsin. Come on.
Come on, Wisconsin, do it. Wisconsin, do it. Michigan, do it. Pennsylvania, do it. It's crazy. You know, it's watching the election through the lens of what happens to abortion access is super interesting. And I don't know about y'all, but like watching how little anybody talked about it when it is the reason that all of these extremists run for office is to end abortion, and we never hear about it. And so like I don't know, I was watching coverage. Did you guys watch a lot of coverage last
I
night?
was reading coverage because watching news really stresses me out. So I was like furiously on the 538 blog because they were, I felt like all the other places, New York Times, Washington Post had a bunch of graphs, and I was like, help me understand them. And I felt like 538 was like, here's a written explanation of what those graphs were. And I was like, that's how I best process and understand and take in news. So I can't the things happening on news, it stresses me out. The graphics, they're too fast. And then pundits with their like opinions based in nothing. It's too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, Moji. I was watching it, and the three of us are based in New York at the moment. Well, I should say Liz is in the Midwest, but it's this frantic race, kind of figuring out, oh, you think you know how stuff's going to go down. And it was weird seeing the adjustment for 0% in, but they already have an idea of other ballots that have come in already. So that was something I had to remind myself about.
I know, I feel like it's terrifying for people who are not, people who understand that what counties come in matter and what that means, and with 0% in and all this other stuff. I think it's really hard. But I think like let's just go over some highlights that we each have, since we're waiting on the presidential race. And even if the presidential race had come in either way, there is so much that we're going to need to do regardless of that, that I think it's important for us to focus on the Senate and Congress. And then I'll hit up some state and local races and ballot initiative stuff that came in, and we'll do that. So should we start with the Senate, Moji?
Sure, yeah, I'll start with the Senate. Again, I feel like as I was watching results coming in for everything, I was like, oh, wow, like polling apparently hasn't improved and enough for me. And I feel like I was trying to be cautiously optimistic, and all of that got dashed. A lot of it got dashed. So some good news. In Colorado, the Senate seat flipped to Democratic, and that's pretty exciting.
That is exciting, especially since that senator was a big extremist.
Yes, and so that's really excited. We lost Doug Jones, which we expected. I feel like his election before was a bit of a long shot, but it still kind of hurts.
Well, you look at Alabama, and it's like Doug Jones won because he beat a child rapist.
Exactly. And apparently, Alabama was like, let's go back to what we're used to, which maybe not child rapists, just terrible people.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Kelly, this was actually exciting to me in Arizona. Mark Kelly won his seat with 52.6% of the vote.
Oh, did they declare Mark Kelly?
He's got 52.6. I don't know if they declared, but everything I've seen has said that he's got 52.6. I don't know if there's been a concession at all, but it seems very hopeful and bright.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I think
Uh,
Arizona will be in our court too. AP has given Arizona to Biden. And I think that so is Fox News.
AP is a source that I have not spent enough time in. So yeah, I should go there and do more of my stress eating for the rest of the day. Yeah. And Joni Ernst in Iowa
Yeah, she's going back to the Senate.
is still there in not great news.
Yeah.
So there had been hope that we would take the Senate or at least have a more decisive majority or a 50-50 split. And I feel like we haven't gotten that blue wave that we were promised.
Yeah, and we're waiting on to hear about Susan Collins.
Yeah, the Maine seems a little complicated because they have the ranked choice, right? And if no one gets 50%, then they're kind of like back to the drawing board.
Oh, I didn't know Maine had ranked choice.
I think they do have, like, you have to get 50, you have to hit the 50% threshold. And so I think it's going to be a little while. I think basically we have to wait for all of the ballots to come in.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know that they have some split delegate districting in Maine, so that you can take part of the state and not, it's not a winner take all state.
Okay.
That much I do know, but I didn't know they had ranked choice voting.
Maybe it's not ranked choice. Maybe I was conflating.
Georgia has ranked choice. Is that what you're thinking?
Maybe.
Because
Yeah.
Georgia has ranked choice voting, and the Democrat and Kelly Loeffler will be advancing. Neither of them hit the threshold, so that they're going to have another runoff election in January. So I'm wondering.
I feel like one of the best summaries I've seen even about this election day and this election season, right, is that we are not a confederacy. We are a collection of states. And so literally state by state, the rules are so different.
Yeah.
That it can be a little confusing. And because I was focused so much on the presidency, I felt like, all these other things were happening. And I was like, okay, that's important. Oh, we haven't taken the Senate. Okay, are we keeping the House? Which I guess we'll get into the House soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. As far as not taking the Senate for abortion, it means that, outcomes could be, depending on how the presidential race goes, outcomes could be, so we have judges to think about, legislation to think about. And if Donald Trump wins again, there's a chance that a lot of the older conservative justices on the Supreme Court will retire.
Yep.
To make way for people with their same ideology who are much younger.
Yep.
And they will get pushed through, which is something that's the most concerning thing to me, in not winning the majority in the Senate.
I'm still concerned even if Biden does win, because I feel like the Senate has been so effective in blocking judicial appointments. For Obama, they were very effective. And so I think that even if Biden wins, we still have a lot of headache there and possibly an uphill battle, because Mitch McConnell maintained his seat in a very decisive majority. And so even if we do have Biden, I feel like Senate maintains a blockade. Mitch McConnell is staying in one space and not budging and keeping everyone in line.
I also think too, there was no surprise that Mitch McConnell would win. I think Mitch McConnell thought that he would lose the Senate. And I think that having these Senate seats, of which some have not been declared, so I want to be clear, but having these, I don't see us picking up 4, but having these Senate seats be winners emboldens them to block nominees and just keep saying elections matter, elections matter, elections matter.
Yep.
But I wonder what it means when elections matter and there's a president who puts up a nominee, will they vote if they're qualified, as they have done in the past? Lindsey Graham did vote for this one right here. Let's be clear.
That was a while ago. I feel like Obama's whole presidency, Senate was really good at not filling all of these these federal vacancies. That,
Yeah, but they did, but with the majority, they did get, 2 women, but we'll see how that plays out. So that's interesting. Let's move on to Congress. Marie, Congress, what do you got?
Yes. I am personally super, super excited for Democrat Cori Bush, who she defeated a Republican Anthony Rogers and a Libertarian that was also running, and is now the first Black woman to represent the portion of Missouri right within the St. Louis area that she received, which I'm really excited about, to see what she's going to do with that position. That's kind of been that particular seat sort of been a Republican held one for the past several decades. And then switching gears this isn't really.
I just want to jump back.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about Cori Bush too, because that was quite
Yeah.
the glow up from like activist to like
Yes.
Congress. It's
Yes.
really a big jump, and it's I feel like she lost an election first, but
Yes,
like
she did.
so exciting.
And she's been very active within, as uprisings have occurred, on standing by constituents and communities that she's a member of, that she identifies with in Missouri. And like, as we've seen folks coming out, the white couple that was in their gated community who brandished guns at folks walking by, like those types of events she's really stepped up on. And like you said, Moji, she's like gained popularity and lost supporters. So it's great to see her elected in a really overwhelming, close to 80% of the vote, I want to say she got. So that's wonderful. That's Southern Missouri. And then this isn't the greatest of news in Texas. There were 7 Republican incumbents that Democrats were hoping would maybe not be reelected. And that did occur in some really more so progressive areas, Austin, San Antonio spaces. And that includes Wendy Davis, who is a senator that lost to U.S. Representative Chip Roy of Austin, a couple others in the Austin and Houston area, which is disheartening, and that the U.S. was hopeful or that the Democrats were hopeful would happen within Texas. Something that did come out, though, that was really exciting in South Texas, particularly in the McAllen area, which is an area that is forgotten by the United States, doesn't have resources, especially in the realm of what we're thinking of in terms of healthcare, bodily autonomy.
On the border.
Yeah, right at the border. And U.S. Representative Vincent Gonzalez, he's been holding a lead over Republican Monica de la Cruz Hernandez. So the sentiment right now is, as folks are watching it, is that Gonzalez, the Democrat, will hold out. And it wasn't a race that in hindsight folks had looked at as being competitive. They didn't think that it would be one that would be close and tight. So that's something that we're watching as well. And then in Baltimore, this is great, and we were hoping would occur. Democratic Representative Kweisi Mfume. He is 72 years old. He got his bid for a House term against Republican Kimberly Classic. And for folks that remember, maybe not, his challenger, that Republican Classic, was someone who President Trump had tweeted about, and that resulted in $7 million in donations to that Republican's campaign. So even so, this man defended that seat. He held on to it. His friend Elijah Cummings held it prior to it. So it's really kind of a beautiful story that this was able to return to someone that's really cherished the seat and upheld civil rights. So those are some quick highlights on the congressional side that were really.
I want to throw in Maureen Newman won her seat, and that is very exciting. And Maureen Newman is somebody who ran against an anti-abortion Democrat named Dan Lipinski, who had held his seat forever. Nancy Pelosi endorsed him because you stand by your incumbent. And Maureen Newman was having none of it. She primaried him out of that seat and then handily won that seat last night. So I'm very excited about Maureen Newman.
Illinois is overjoyed. Like we're
Illinois number 3, Illinois District 3. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So those are all good. Those are good, not all good, but some are good. I would also say I was looking sort of at like legislative races in the state senates and state legislatures and some governors races and stuff. And it's very interesting because to me, that's where we need to be looking, because that's where laws are going to come through. When crackpots get elected to state government, those laws go through a court system that is now stacked by Trump, right? So in the state of bad news, in the state of Indiana, a guy named John Jacob was elected to state senate, who is part of Operation Save America, which are the anti-abortion domestic terrorist organization who have been terrorizing clinics forever. And he is affiliated with that group. And another OSA supporter named Warren Hamilton was elected to Oklahoma State Senate. So that was super fucked up. And then also, good news though, we had some a ballot initiative that was on the ballot in Colorado that tried to end later abortion. Overwhelmingly, the citizens of Colorado were like, get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
We don't want this shit. We can see right through it, which is really great. North Carolina re-elected their pro-choice governor. He's out and proud and ran on those issues. And I feel like those are sort of the big hits as we look as states are coming in. Two things that are kind of awful in Congress, Madison Cawthorn, who is a right-wing, he's so right, Trump, he was to the right of the Trump nominated person and he won. His big, he ran on the I didn't commit sexual assault platform.
Yeah.
So consent is not really.
Oh, I didn't know I could talk to the person I'm trying to fuck.
Yeah, I can. You know, when they say, yeah, who knew that I could give that they had permission to say no? He actually said, and that he hopes for a world where that's actually for his daughters. They can say no,
As opposed to maybe a world we could all live in now.
Yeah, and also he for vacation went to Hitler's mountain hideaway, to the Fuhrer. And he's just he spoke at the Republican convention. He is like a lantern-jawed, handsome guy who loves to hunt, and he will be, the truth be told, he's taking Mark Meadows' seat. It's a seat full of conspiracy theorists and Tea Party activists. So it's not a shock that he won. It's just a disappointment. He is the Nazi Ken doll. It is true. That was super disappointing. Also disappointing is that not one, but two members of QAnon got elected to Congress. One from Georgia who ran uncontested, and one from Colorado. So I'm unclear as to how that's going to go, but the fact that Q has 2 reps, and that means there can be a Q caucus.
I was going to say Q
terrifying
caucus.
But that's it. So basically we don't know what's going to happen with the presidency. The state houses have washed out. There wasn't any big surprises. There was no flips of governorships as far as on a local level and what's happening. I think watching the Senate and seeing how those last races play out is going to be key to see how emboldened they get to be. What if we tie and then Kamala Harris is the person that comes in and has to do a whole bunch of bidding? That would be really interesting also. But for us, as we have done this work for 5 years, and I started doing my activism heavy, hard switching, under an Obama administration, watching state legislatures come over and take place, having us go through a cycle of an election already. We kind of prepared for people to be freaking out over the next couple of days, but also to have a plan. I mean, what we do at Abortion Access Front is we make a plan and we do tangible actions so that you can actually stop staring into your Trader Joe's hummus and wondering why it's gone when you ate it without comprehension, and pull your head out of your snacks and put them into good use, because what the next months and years are going to bring for all of us is an awareness that we are constantly going to have to fight back against legislation and those who try to propose it in state and local governments, while really being a voice and a safety comfort net for those who are going to be hit hardest by this legislation. That is, of course, poor people, marginalized people, people of color, and those that provide the care. And so we have all kinds of action items. We have a great resources page. It's at aafront.org/resources. And you can go there and we really meet you where you live. If you have limited ability and limited time, why not write a postcard to a clinic? Why not say, oh my God, I just want to make sure that clinics know that I support them and that they have love in their communities, right? Donate. You can donate. You can donate. It's the best way you can do. If you can't do anything else, you can put some money in our coffers so we can continue our work. Save, you can adopt a clinic. That's a cool program. Maria, I know you love the Adopt a Clinic program.
Yes, it's wonderful. We gets geared up closer to the holiday season in the fall, but we work with communities, organizations, individuals that have the resources and have what a clinic needs, and we connect and partner with those folks, because dollars do not go far. They're going fewer and fewer distances, and it's really hard for clinics to get services, to get support, especially in certain parts of the country they're in. So that's something that we critically need folks across the United States to participate in.
And super fun to do with your friends. Like
Yeah.
if you wanted to get 3 or 4 or 5 girlfriends together, if you're not part of an organization or, just people that you love that want to do something, to pool your resources so that you are connecting with a clinic and making sure they can get heating pad covers, or that their staff can have a celebratory lunch on you, to constantly have them have a place where they can check in. You really keep going when you get to know the people that you are working with and trying to help support. It just really is helpful.
And we have to keep going. We have these election results. We have ones that are coming in, and we can see where problems are going to be and where positive bright spots are, and options for growth and improvement. So let's get behind those. Let's be proactive and reactive.
And
Also, I feel like,
go ahead, Moji.
I feel like waiting for elections can be really paralyzing, right? Like, and fundamentally, Joe Biden is not a progressive candidate, right? And so even if he wins, we can look how things are shaking out. He may not care about the things you care about,
Right.
the way that you care about them. And so these are ways that you can get involved without having to wait for your candidate to, or not your candidate, to agree or disagree with your position. Like, regardless of who wins, abortion clinics are going to need this kind of help.
That's right. And I think that's the most important thing, is voting is your civic duty. Participating every day in making the world a better place, because you have a contract with your community to make it better, is what we are trying to advocate for. What is that contract, and how do you want to be a person that just participates every day? And that matters. So we have Donate, we have Adopt a Clinic, we have an incredible monthly conversation that maybe we're going to try to incorporate some comedy into, now that we've seen how great yesterday was. Kind of, if we can't be out on the road doing shows, maybe we can do a show and then do a talk back. But why don't you, Marie, give a little lowdown on these cool monthly conversations so folks can get in on the 411 on what's going on?
Yes. So Abortion Access Front has been working with a couple other organizations, especially communities and groups that support clinics and center clinics, especially those clinics that are owned by communities of color and support those populations as patients. So we are trying to, in a time of COVID, utilize as much of a virtual platform as we can. And we're getting folks together. And so far, we sort of focused on geographic areas. So we spent 2 Mondays in Minnesota, where we talked to folks that in particular can speak to access concerns in the state, that can talk about, hey, here's a mobile clinic that's doing virtual care right now. Here is an organization that works with minors who have to navigate particular parental requirements in the state while they're seeking abortion care. So the goal behind this, these chats that we're having set up across communities across the United States, is for folks to understand better how different abortion access can look state to state, yet also how some of those same barriers and challenges that have been put in place by anti-choice politicians, by Health and Human Services at state levels that are set up. So our goal is to make sure folks understand what's going on, not just in the Fifth Circuit, what's not just happening in Wisconsin and Minnesota and New York, but also South Dakota, other parts of the country? What are concerns from a clinic access perspective that folks that are patients on the ground need to think about? So we want to bring those issues, those problems, those solutions to you as like Liz said, as folks that have an obligation, a social contract to participate and uplift our fellow humans.
And I think what I love about this program so much is it gathers local activists to hear, and through hearing from the experts and organizations that they maybe didn't know exist, they can go sign up and then help participate there. And then if you don't live in Minnesota or any of these communities, but you're hearing about good ideas that people are doing or ways that they are finding solutions to problems, you can go back to your own community and try to implement some of those ideas as well. So it's an idea base, it's a learning base, it's a community base, it's an activation base. And I think and you're learning from the people on the ground. You're learning from the lawyers who are defending these cases. You're learning from the providers who are giving the care. You're learning from the activists who are in the community. So you're learning from the experts. And that part of it is super cool because we just don't hear about abortion from experts. And, anytime there's a story on the news, it drives me crazy. It's rare that they will get somebody who is like an expert on abortion. They'll get some generalist who knows about politics, right? And that part is so frustrating. You would never just get some generalist waxing on about how the military works or the environment,
Yeah.
But when it comes to abortion, just get a woman, throw her on, and she'll just generalize and talk about it and not get into the deep nuances that would actually spark people to be like, I need to take action, I need to participate. So those are really cool, and I'm really excited about that. Moji, you want to talk about exposed fake clinics?
Oh, I totally want to talk about exposed fake clinics because it is so important and so necessary. Fake clinics, they outrank real clinics in this country by a lot. And also, I think one of the things you'll notice is that fake clinics are the ones that advertise to people, specifically in places where people, they have ads that say things like pregnant, need help, right? Which if you are pregnant and low information or just don't really feel like you have anyone to talk to, that sounds like an inviting place to go. And like clinics increasingly, they lead with fake medical information. They have very dangerous things like abortion reversal that they push on to people, which is not a thing, in case you were wondering. And so we have exposedfakeclinics.com, which is an initiative we have that talks about fake clinics, that tries to do things to minimize their impact. And sometimes that's as simple as just leaving a bad report. Have you gone to a fake clinic? Has someone told you that abortion causes breast cancer? You should report that as a fake thing, because that's not a thing. Or often they'll try to run the clock. A lot of places do have abortion limits, not unlike the one that they busted out in Colorado from happening. Clinic, and there is an abortion clinic, they'll tell you, oh, you're 10 weeks along when maybe you're further along. You're 3 weeks, and these are all the things that sort of close people's options, make it less likely that people can access the care they want. So again, one of the things we do is just say expose fake clinics, know that they're there, know to look out for them, know what the tells are, know the facts, so that when misinformation is brought to a pregnant person, or you're talking to a friend who is like, I went to a clinic and they told me this, you can say that's not right. These are not facts. And I know that personally, I'm pretty sure that when I was pregnant, I went to a fake clinic once. And that was a wild thing that I just had a bad feeling about it. But I think that ultimately, and learning about fake clinics, I was like, oh, that's where I was. And I didn't even know. I just was like, these people are giving me bad customer service.
Right. Yeah. Particularly religious. It's particularly white. It's particularly adoption geared.
100%. I ended up at a fake clinic when I was pregnant and a teen. And if you've never heard of fake clinics before, a good framing for you maybe is if you've seen the Borat movie, and when you see Borat go and sit in that with that minister who is just literally ignoring the fact that he's announced that he impregnated his own daughter, that is a slice of reality where nothing matters. They don't care how you got there, what your circumstances are, what your lived experience is. They're like fetus obsessed, and all they care about is the fetus, and they don't really even care about you or what happens to that fetus if it actually gets born. None of that matters. And so Exposed Fake Clinics, we give you all kinds of tips and tools to raise awareness that they exist. And like Moji said, there's a lot of them. The number of a lot of them is nearly 3,000 compared to actual clinics that provide abortion is just under 800. So when you look at how that plays out, there's four and a half, almost 4.5 times the amount of fake clinics as there are real places. And so we're really proud of that program. And there's lots of things that you can do, whether it is give a Yelp or a Google review that says that they are not doing that. And it tells you all the ways to do that. And then the last thing you can do is volunteer with us. We have a lot of great volunteer opportunities, whether it is doing things like I just finished helping stain a fence here in Minnesota where I am, the Robbinsdale Clinic. They needed their fence. They got a brand new fence. They needed it stained. They were having a problem getting somebody to help stain it because they provide abortion, and people are uncool about people who provide abortion. So I got together with a bunch of volunteers and we social distanced and we did that, stain the fence. And it was really rewarding to be able to talk to people from a distance, do it safely. You can do that. It's really, really fun. And so we also have outings and virtual smackdowns of anti-abortion people, which is really fun. If you want to just take part in sharing graphics, if you're a crafty person and you want to make something, whatever your superpower is, that can be being organized. That can be just simply saying, put me to work, I'll show up. Like all of those things are good, but it's a very rewarding volunteer experience. And so we don't want you to sit and ponder and wonder what to do next. We don't want to just say, give money. We want to say, give money, of course, but we want you to have an experience that makes you feel whole because you're helping somebody else feel whole. And that is sort of the edict and the mantra of what we do. So we're going to run over the 5 things. Donate, expose fake clinics, adopt a clinic, volunteer, and all access abortion pass to our incredible talkback seminars. Those 5 things are things that you can do. You'll get smarter, you'll have fun, you'll build community, you're going to make abortion a safer place, help expand access, and make the people that provide it feel loved and wanted. I feel like those are super good things.
Those are some great things.
Yeah, those are your action items. The elections happened. We're waiting to hear, how do you take the good, the bad, the ugly, and take those 5 points and proceed?
That's right, and proceed. So we're really happy to introduce that to you. So you know what? Have a Bloody Mary today. Have an old glass of wine today. Have a vodka, whatever the hell Moji's drinking today.
Vodka. Moji likes
vodka. And tomorrow, check out the action. You can find it at aafront.org/resources, where you can get this whole incredible kit. And also, if you have an idea that you think would be cool for a clinic, you can reach out to info or Anna or Marie at aafront.org. And you can pitch that idea. And if the idea is something that's workable and safe for the clinics, we can help orchestrate that.
We love creative. We love creative. COVID is the main barrier right now.
That's
so whatever
right.
Creative that can happen with COVID, tell us.
Tell us. We would love to help you realize your vision to make clinics have a better experience and to bring that idea out into our community of people. So it's pretty great. So that's our little wrap up. I know it wasn't all you wanted to know. I know all of us are sitting here with stomach aches, but we're going to forge ahead regardless of what happens. Stay tuned to our social medias because we'll give you all the updates. And I feel like we did good. Marie, Moji, any last thoughts?
Just keep on watching, donate, listen to people, listen to those folks who are there, who are on the ground and are just asking you to listen to them.
Yeah.
Because I think this is the hardest part for me, to see how, not to be partisan, but how close things are in some areas is the hard part.
Also, take a break. I had a bed delivered for my son, and I'm going to take a moment and put a bed together.
I'm just gonna build a loft.
Because there's only so much stress refreshing I can do. And at a certain point, you just gotta, everyone's voted, there's, maybe there'll be a legal battles that'll happen, but we're not sure of what those are right now. So right now, I think it's good to maybe just take a breath, continue living your life, know that like it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah. Seize control where you have it. And that is
Yes.
find places that can help you feel whole, that can help you get rest, that can help you feel like, regardless of outcomes, you will be making a difference in the lives of the people who are going to be affected most by whatever that outcome is. So on that note, I'm going to say, from Abortion Access Front, we got plans for you. Join us. We have good shirts. We'll get our merch too. It's fun. Walk around, be a feminist buzzkill, do your shit. It's really good. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.